Здравствуй, мама, я пишу тебе письмо. Здравствуй, мама, у меня все хорошо, солнце светит, все нормально у меня, а в глазах не стоит туман.
Hello everyone, this is the military summary for the day of 20 March 2023. So today there are new interesting informations. First I will start with the Zaporizhia front. As you can see, yesterday I've mapped already this place as Ukrainian, because there has been reports the last 3 days now that the Ukrainians have attacked this area toward Robotine. And today, interesting facts. I found a video on Telegram showing the attack, and I geolocated this place, this area, and it happens that this area was actually the place I already mapped as Ukrainian. So it's just some matter of luck, but also there is some logic to that. Here is what you see in the video. But anyway, in the video you can actually see that multiple Ukrainian vehicles has been destroyed, and a lot of the soldiers had to walk on foot and reach the safe area in the tree lines, while also being under heavy artillery fire. My reasoning yesterday for having put this area as Ukrainian is simple. The attack started from AVDIIVKA, and the only road here going down to Robotine is actually this road. So I told myself that of course they wouldn't just like straight up move down the road, but this area is particularly good for attacks, because as you can see it's not really squared. There's not like square fields. It's a bit more rough terrain, and also it's closer to the south of Novodnievka. So it's I think it's also a matter of artillery support. The closer they go to Robotine, and the closer the artillery here will be able to support them moving. So I don't think they will have just like went down here or down there. They really just moved here. There is no information about any further advance, so I will keep it like that. Now moving on to the Novoselka front, Velika Novoselka front especially. I corrected my mapping because there has been the Pacific Russian forces, like the Pacific group, I mean Marines forces, have announced that they have been attacked by Ukrainians coming from Novodarivka. So previously Novodarivka was like included in my mapping. I don't remember if it was because it has been said like it was captured, but anyway, if it was captured, then it has been then taken back by the Ukrainians. So I corrected my mapping. Moving toward the Vuhledar front, nothing much. They still fighting inside these southern dachas. And now moving into the most interesting part of today, the AVDIIVKA front. So I seriously kneel, and I am sorry for having said that the Russians wouldn't be able to will stop here, the advance here along this big tree line, along the railroad. I had my reasoning for that, and as you can see, my my idea, for me, the most likely Avdiivka encirclement plan by the Russians was this light blue mapping. That was my idea. I thought that the Russians will do this and then stop and like, if they just got these parts, they would already have encircled Avdiivka too, because there is no more roads coming out from this area. But apparently, my map, I've been too too much underestimating the Russians' advances, because today we had the information that they captured Stepov and attacked Berdichi. There has been also reports of attacking towards Semyonivka, but I will leave it like that. I think it's just a matter of mapping. So yes, they crossed the. I know the railroad line isn't like a real boundary, but I would have thought that the Russians, after having all these parts, Krasnogorovka, would have known to concentrate on protecting their northern parts from attacks coming from Novokalinovo. But it seems that there is no real attack coming from the Ukrainians to try to stop. I also thought that the Ukrainians forces would quickly come and reinforce the front and prevent the Russians from crossing the tree lines here. But it didn't happen, and the Russians now are free to move on this part, and they are really soon to encircle Avdiivka. Also, interesting reports. There has been attacks reported in this part of Avdiivka. So, for me, I map it like that. For me, the Russians are here, and they just moved like perhaps from this tree line and here. But I won't map them like here, because I'm really unsure they can hold this place. I think they really just rushed toward this place. The explanation for that, why is Avdiivka falling so quickly, is that there is no real town next to Avdiivka that can really that is really important. I mean, if Avdiivka fall, then there is like Pokrovsk, but it's not to say we don't care about the city, but it's not like it's the most important city. Whereas in Bakhmut front, as you can see, Bakhmut is actually holding is really important, because you have the canal that will be and will give the Russians a natural boundary, not a natural boundary, but you understand what I say. And then after Bakhmut, which cities are there? Konstantinovka, Druzhkovka, Kramatorsk, and Slovyansk. The chain of most important cities in the Donbass region, Donetsk region, and you can see that it's like a line of cities that stops at Liman. So it's really Bakhmut or Artemovsk is really important, because after this city there is no real cities to hold the Russians. It's straight up to Kramatorsk. So that's why the Ukrainians are putting so much troops, and also it's simply because there is big cities next to Bakhmut, so it's easier for the Ukrainians to feed the front, to give supplies, to bring supplies and troops. Talking about Bakhmut, we had interesting informations coming from the Ukrainians' side. Apparently, they pushed the Russian out of these places, but there is no information about the Russians in this area. And interestingly, the Russians actually advanced in this area. There has been geolocations from I think the Ukrainians geolocated, or Russians geolocated a picture. There is a video or a picture of Russians here. So previously there was Ukrainian here, now there is Russians here. So they made a small advance, but nothing else. Oh, also, as you can see, I always mapped here. If you look on the previous video or on the map when I will publish it on the previous days, I always mapped these areas Ukrainians. And apparently a video came out showing that geolocating the Ukrainians in this part, while the Russians are still all around. So my mapping is correct here, so nothing to change. Yeah, there is fighting reported at Khormove once again, fighting toward Bogdanivka. Also, interestingly, they are all now accepting the fact that the Russians are here and attacking Grigorievka. No, there has been no reports about Orikhovo Vasilyevka. No reports, I think, about Zaliznyanska. And most interestingly is that there is a lot of reports of attacks toward Vasyukivka, Fedorovka, Razdolovka, and Vesely. So the Russians are now attacking. Why my mapping is here for Vesely when most mappers like draw a line? It's simple. I don't think the Russians are like staying day and night on this field. I don't think it's a good place for them to stay. So yeah, the Russians will be mapped here as long as Vesely isn't captured. And Vesely will be hard to capture because, as you see, it's flat all around, so it will be hard. The only way I see the Russians attacking Vesely is from the north, because the north is actually a rough terrain. They have height advantage, and perhaps also from the riverbed here. Moving north, there has been a reports of attacks towards Pornoye, Spirne, and Verkhonokamyansk. And the Bilogorovka front, always fighting in the Kremenaya forests. As usual, it's the worst place to be in Ukraine right now. Torsky, fightings are reported toward Torsky. Yampulovka, fightings reported toward Yampulovka, and fightings reported toward Terny. So I will stay with my mapping because I don't think the Russians are actually in the city yet, but to be able to attack Terny, they must already be like at least here, perhaps even here, or perhaps they hold this forest here. But I don't really know, and I will prefer to keep it like that for now. It doesn't matter much. Yeah, this mapping corrected, I forgot to remove it, but it was because before the last video I actually mapped this area as Russian. Here no new informations about the Ukrainian offensive toward Chervonopopovka, but I will leave it like that. Interesting information coming from Deep State UA. Deep State UA, the Ukrainian source, geolocated Russian here. So it seems that the Russians are closing in the natural fortress. I'm going to call it the Nevsky fortress. No, what? The Nevsky fortress, yes. I find it. Also, the Russians are here now. They are attacking here. They are already in this, controlling these three lines. And now moving north, there has been fightings reported toward Makievka once again. So they have to be like at least here. Perhaps they are here and not here. But anyway, if I get more informations, I will modify the mappings. But I am pretty sure for all of this, I'm sure of it. For this field, I'm not sure. Then no real changes in the front around this area. There was a video that has been posted from this area showing an Ukrainian being shelled, but I failed to geolocate the video. It was I really did not find anything looking like what I saw in the video, so All I know is that it's in this part, because from the video you can see the Ukrainians. Wait, wait. You can see the Ukrainian at least here, around here. So now you remember me that I have to correct this front. I forgot about it. So, but yeah, you have a video of Ukrainians. I don't know if it was here, but he's been like the Ukraine moved. I really think it's like around here. So because on the video you can actually see ENCIRCLEMENT the behind. So I'm going to give the to let the doubts decide, and I'm going to play it safe and move back the Russian advances from this front. And also in the video there wasn't like a lot of Ukrainians. Perhaps it was just a recon group that moved into Russian territory. So we'll see what the future has to, what information we have in the future. But beside that, my analysis of the today's front is that the Ukrainians are actually failing to really manage to push new big offensives that are winning territories. They are actually now left with inexperienced conscripts, and also the Western tanks and vehicles aren't yet used, but I don't think it will change anything. Not because these vehicles, these tanks aren't good, but it's just that without air support and most importantly artillery support, there won't be any changes. Honestly, if I have to say that there will, for me, the area where we will see the first Leopards tanks and so on, I really think it will be in Zaporozhye and around, especially Velika Novoselka and Vuhledar, because it's flat terrain, and these Western tanks have really good optics. So it will be the only places in Ukraine, the Zaporozhye front, where it will be interesting to use them. But beside that, I don't think it will change anything, because ultimately the Russians aren't lacking power or they are not lacking manpower or artillery or ammo or anything. So I think that the next big thing after AVDIIVKA, I would say it would be the Sivers front, because I did not move the line, but a lot say that this area is actually no Russian, but I won't move it. And if this area is Russian, they have no, just to push more here, perhaps, and reach the river to already have like this part being cut from Liman. And anyway, looking at how they are developing their forces here in this front, they are moving fast. Here, they just have to take down the Nevsky fortress. After that, what will stop them from now thinking about moving toward Liman? Nothing. Really, there will be nothing. Sloviansk and Liman, of course. So, yeah. I think it will soon be the time that once Bakhmut fell, more troops will be concentrated north to take Siversk, and these troops will also see faster advance, because a lot of troops around here will have now to defend Siversk. So yeah, it's not really looking really good for the Ukrainians right now, but we'll see what the future has to tell us. I don't think there will be any huge offensives, neither from the Russians or like offensives. When I say that, quick gain of territories and mass conscriptions. Perhaps the Russians will mass conscript more, but I don't think they will be like talking about it like they did, not announcing like that, because it failed last time, and they don't want to create panic. Also, Kamenka has fell. I know some people aren't sure about it, but I'm sure about it. That's all you have to know. But thanks for watching the video, and I will see you for the next big update. Thanks, bye bye.